Hey, Mr. Mosier, this is your co-teacher, Mr. Scifers here. I just wanted to make this video on how we should or benefit from incorporating assessment styles into our curriculum over these next couple months while working together. I know you're not a big fan of assessments, and I can see why by the article that you sent me, why assessments can be bad, but they're not always bad. And I wanted to explain to you how we could do that through some certain benefits that we get from assessing our students. So for the first the first point I wanted to make, students gain just absolute amount of knowledge throughout the year, and the best way to test that is through assessment, okay? But we won't know what the students master in our teaching objectives and our student objectives when we create these lesson plans. We don't know what the students master if we don't assess them. So by assessing our students, we're able to reach and maintain and progress through our student objectives rather than not reach those student objectives and not have a viable lesson plan or unit plans for our curriculum. The second point I'd like to bring up is that assessments provide evidence for grades. And in the article, it says this point very clearly, and it stands out because assessments provide evidence for grades. So by assessing our students, we're able to have proof of the students' abilities, not only their abilities, but how much they understand cognitively and how well the social aspect goes in from the affective domain. All that tied in, we're able to grade the students on our content, and it proves that they got the grade they deserved rather than a grade that was just randomly given to them. The third point I want to make is that assessment not only improves student performance, but teaching performance as well. And from this, it shows that if a student isn't completely getting a certain objective or a certain aspect of a lesson plan or a unit plan, then maybe it's not the student's fault and it's our fault as teachers, but we would never know that if we didn't assess the students and test the content knowledge and test the knowledge of the rules of the game and positioning and so on and so forth. But if it's our fault as the teacher that we didn't clearly convey that message or break down a rule to the simplest point so that the student can understand and they don't know what they're doing, then that's our fault as the physical educator. The last point I want to make is that physical educators get data and are able to make data-driven decisions based off of assessments. And this was quoted in this article, and it shows that as assessments are given to students, you can track their progress, and as you track their progress throughout a unit, we're able to collect data over time, and then this data starts becoming trends, and as HPE teachers, we're able to locate these trends and start tracking them. This also gives us a beneficial point in advocating for our jobs as for why physical education is needed among schools. So